As above, so below, as within, so without. If you caught my last video on the law of duality, you will know that I was doing a little series here, and I want to do part 2 of this series. Is going to be on the as within, so without. The first one I did was on the law of duality, and you can check that out either on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or YouTube. YouTube was also Embers and Ashes, the Phoenix, if you want to check it out there. This one's part 2, as within, so without, and the it encompasses the law of duality. Let me just go real quick, give you the nutshell version of law of duality. Is basically that nothing is created in this simulation, if you will, without a duality. Okay, so you cannot have children without a man and a male and a female, a man and a woman, right? That's how you create life. You cannot have electricity without a positive and negative, or the ether and the ground. You can't. There's dualities to everything, dark and light, good and evil, all of that stuff. Okay, there's your nutshell version of the law of duality. Okay, so the next part is going to be as within, so without. The last part will be the as above, so below principle, and the reason I'm leaving that to last is because it's probably the deepest part of this rabbit hole we're going to go down. Okay, so I wanted to give you that little clip there. I wanted to tell you also that that all of this all of this pertains to what's going on in our society. Okay, we don't give this enough attention because we've been discouraged our whole lives from paying attention to this. Okay, it's super important that everyone understands this principle. The as within, so without is super, super important, because we cannot have a society without the understanding that what happens in here, you project externally. All right? Okay, I need to get into it. Let's go. Okay, as within, so without goes kind of like this. Your basic understanding of it is actually a principle of Christ's teachings. All right, and the fact that they didn't want you to know about any of this stuff is rather interesting, I think, because there's an agenda behind why they didn't want you to know it. Let me explain first. The as within. So the idea here being that if you don't heal what's inside, and you don't learn to love yourself, truly love yourself, not a narcissistic kind of love, okay, but to appreciate who you are for who you are without having to rely on other people's input, okay? Because a lot of us base our self-worth and our worthiness in this world based on what others think about us. And unfortunately, that leads to a lot of emotional scars, psychological scars, a lot of feelings of betrayal, and the fact that you're hurt and you tend to put up walls with other people because you haven't figured out why it hurt you and where that came from. What in you were you finding lacking? Why did you rely on someone else's opinion of you in order to find your value? Okay. Yeah, I know. I sound like a psychologist. I actually don't subscribe to a lot of psychology. I minored in psychology, but I don't subscribe to a lot of it. It really depends on who is doing the the explaining for the most part. I do not subscribe to Freud at all. Freud was very backwards. He was very, he was a pedophile, and he was, incestuous and a few other things. So let's just, not to mention like a cocaine addict, all right? So let's just dismiss that for a minute, okay? I'm not talking about Freudian stuff. What I'm talking about here is literally what your Christ consciousness knows about yourself, and what you have to find within you to make this world a better place, okay? What we are not encouraged to do, for the most part, is self-healing. Yes, we are encouraged to go to a psychologist every so often and talk about our problems. What we are not encouraged to do is to learn how to heal yourself from the inside. Now, I've met a few people that claim to be completely healed and completely this and completely that, and I would beg to differ with you. I know a lot about this stuff, and I am not even close to being healed. I won't even tell you that I'm close to being healed, okay? That said, I'm probably closer than a lot of other people because I understand the principle, and people may, they may write you off as crazy, and that's okay. Because you have to understand that who you are is who you need to be. It's got nothing to do with what anybody else's opinion of you is, okay? But once you are as close to healed as you can be, then you project something different to the world. You no longer project your negativity on everybody else. You project positivity. Now, you will get a mixed response to this. Most people will be encouraged by your positivity, okay? And it will bring them up and around and into their positive energy. But there are some people that cannot handle your positivity and your self-love, and they will criticize, and they will tell you that you are narcissistic because you understand that your self-worth is more important than what they think of you, and they don't like that. They want you to base your opinion on what they think of you, so they will try and tear you down for that. Chosen have been through this their whole entire lives. Most of them know this. But most of them do get torn down when they are criticized because they have not learned the self-love. They know how to project the love. That's not an issue. What they don't know is how to harness the self-love and use that to their benefit. Okay? That's a whole other story. And learning to love yourself, and you do this in increments. It does not happen overnight, okay? You do it in increments. But what you will find is that you are changing the world as you are changing yourself. I guarantee this will happen. Whether it's for the positive or for the negative, and mind you, both are necessary. If you watch my video, as above, so below, as within, so without, and the law of duality. The law of duality is the important thing here. You cannot have one thing without the other. You cannot create anything without that duality. All right? It just doesn't happen. You have to look at what the earth shows you. People don't understand that the Creator gave us evidence to everything. And He gave us everything we needed, naturally. This is fluorite, by the way. some of you might know what fluoride is. Fluoride is not good for your teeth. It's not really good for your body, at least not to ingest it. It's actually was used first as a rat poison. But stones have memory. Stones actually have different properties. Quartz stone keeps time. It actually keeps a rhythm of its own. That's a memory that it keeps, okay? So while these were not designed to go, most of them were not designed to go into our body. Some of them are. Things like very small amounts of copper, small amounts of silver can help cure things. There are minerals that you can put in your body. Most people think that things like calcium help your bones. It doesn't. You know what helps your bones? Boron. That 40 mule team borax that everybody thinks is a cleaner. It's not a cleaner. It actually helps your bones. Okay? If you have arthritis, you should be taking bioboron. There's lots of things that the Creator gave us that work for our bodies and work against our bodies. Fluoride is one of those things that works against it, at least internally. But there's clarity. There's clarity in fluoride. And crystals, there's timing in crystals. There's balance in crystals. People don't understand rocks. They don't understand rocks and minerals. Just like they don't understand themselves. Okay? You don't understand yourself. You don't understand how this world works. As within, so without. If you love yourself, love will come to this world. Without it, when we despise ourselves, we despise others. That's just how it works. And you cannot have a world that is worth anything if you don't know how to love above all else. And we've never been taught what love really is. We seek it, like desperately we seek it. But you don't understand. You'll never find love if you don't have it in here first. Because if you don't know how to love yourself, no one else is going to know how to love you either. You don't know what you need, so they're not going to know what you need. As within, so without. Next video, that will be as above, so below.